chamber, you've sat in these committees, you've sat in these analyzing meetings, in these funding meetings. And our question number 1, sir, says, is there enough climate strategy action, and you think that new funding opportunities are available?
Is that the question, if I have reframed it well? Let me start by problematizing the question. For starters, I'm constrained to discuss the depths of the subject matter, because policy analysis which have been done for the last 20 years, even for the professionals who have even done public policy analysis as a practice. But now that you have asked me the question, I would wish the young people to reflect on the things I'm going to talk about. 1, let me be Socratic. The lawyers here know the Socratic method of teaching. What is the comprehensive planning framework for Uganda? Let's participate. I'm throwing the problem. Socratic means I throw the problem at you and you give me a solution. We are here to learn. I want you to be comfortable. The footage the man is getting is only for your internal consumption. It's not going on any BS. So you'll not embarrass yourself. Who knows the comprehensive national planning framework for Uganda? But I didn't move with the money. Normally, I don't get 10,000. Colleagues, let's participate. The comprehensive national planning framework for Uganda is the Vision 2040. Do we agree, colleagues? Yes. The first NDP began 2011/12. It was 2010, 2011, then 2014, 2015. That was the first NDP. It expired. We went into the roadmap for the second NDP, which is 2016, 2020, which also expired. Then we went into the roadmap to develop the third NDP, which we are talking about today, the NDP 3. Do you understand, colleagues? Because if you don't understand these things, there's an analogy in law that you can route the boat so fast without controlling the winds. You'll be running around and all over, and you don't know where you're going. Do you understand each other? So the direction is that the NDP 3, which is the present, is a marked departure from the first 2 NDPs, NDP 1 and NDP 2. NDP 1 and NDP 2 dwelled on what we call the sector-wide approach. The sector what? The NDP 3 is on the program approach. The NDP 3 has 18 programs. 18 what? Programs. You go and look into NDP 3 and ask yourself, where does environment, biodiversity, climate change, natural resources, where do those things fall? Which program are they in? That should be a beginning point for anyone here. Colleagues, I implore you for God's sake, when you're writing a proposal to Cecile, if you do not bring that framework up, she will not give you money. Because we're going to discuss the subject matter of finance is what you asked me. One of the capacity building issues is developing capacity for bankable projects in climate finance. Uganda, we have been at it. I'm a member of the Climate Finance Working Group at the Ministry of Water and Environment. And I'm telling you, one of the problems is that we are not writing good proposals for this financing. We are not writing what? And you will not write them if you do not align your writing into what the government is developing. So go to the NDP 3. Look out the climate change issues. But how does it work? When you go to the program of the NDP 3 that deals with climate change, look for what we call the policy objectives. What are the policy objectives of the program that you are looking at? Are we together? And then look at each of the policy programs. If it's a policy objective of a particular program on climate change, go under it and look for what they call the interventions. What are the interventions that government has set out to do for the next 5 years? And then ask yourself, these are the interventions that government has planned for the next 5 years. we are in the third year of the implementation of the NDP. We're in the what? So meaning now run to the national budget. Run where? To the national budget and look at the financial year 2021-22. That will be the first implementation of the policy objective interventions under that climate component. Are we together? Look for 2022-23. Look there and see where the government put money on interventions in climate finance. So when you're writing your proposal to Cecile, speak the language that government will support. In the NDP 3 at page this, policy objective number this, intervention number this, government has articulated that it will do the following. And in the medium-term expenditure framework, we see that in the national budget, so much money was given to the Ministry of Water and Environment for climate. Then you go to the budget policy statement of the Ministry of Water and Environment. The ministerial budget policy statement. That's the booklet where the money that comes from the budget meant for water and environment is put. And you see how it is broken down for climate change. Even when you are looking for an MOU with the ministry, you tell them we want to support you for this financial year with these interventions in line with your budget policy statement. We look at it and you are saying there's a vote and a function, but it's an unfunded priority, they don't have money. But as civil society, we can fill this gap. You must speak their language. So when you go to Cecile, she will tell you, okay, we see the money. We can support your organization to work with the ministry to fill this intervention. You see how important the National Comprehensive Planning Framework is called. It's fundamental. There is no shortcut to it. And I'm begging you, for God's sake, you don't have to be a scientist, you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be anyone called anybody. Just get the NDP 3, look at the program that deals with climate change, just write down all the policy objectives and the various interventions. Look at the year that we're in implementation, then run to the budget, see how much money was put there. Go to the Ministry of Water and Environment, look at the Ministerial Budget Policy Statement for this financial year. See where they have put the votes and the function. Votes means the money put on reforestation. How much money has been put on foresting our country? How much money has been put on wetland conservation and restoration? And then you go and speak towards that money. Either you are begging government to support you, or you want to support government through the development funding to support that element. So to that extent, answering you in the affirmative is that government is very smart. They have given you the strategic action. You asked me about the strategic action. Government has done its job. The problem is capacity building. Many people do not know these things. Even in our group of people, I'm making 50. Even the people 50 years don't understand these things. So kind of go and do a lot of reading in that area so that you speak the right language when you are pitching. Who has done pitching in this room? You know what pitching is? How many minutes are you given for pitching?
For 1 to 10.
1 to 10 at the most, but normally it is 1 to 5 minutes. You make your point in the first minute. In the second point, you are concluding. In the third, you are giving your team, you are introducing your team. We have a lawyer, we have a doctor, we have this, and you give your ask. We want $10 million, we are willing to use it. The other 2 are for Q&A for the people you are presenting to. So you must know how to pitch these things. You get a very big document, reduce it down in 1, 2, 3 minutes. Are we together? People know that we can trust this guy with our money. We can trust this young lady with our money. So the strategic action from government, I can assure you, is there. As to whether the youth know that there is this money and the right things to do is another matter altogether. So there is a lot of work on our part for capacity building. I thank you.